And that's what you get for judging people. When your husband is a sleazy, sleazy cheater, and you judging her for being an unmarried mother. The audacity. Hey guys, welcome back to Chaotic Commentary. Today we're going to look at some more petty revenge stories. Let's get into it. My next door neighbors have rubbed me the wrong way ever since I moved here 3 years ago. The husband, let's call him Mike, struck me as a little sleazy, and the wife, we'll call her Sharon, seems nosy and judgmental as hell. But I know myself, I know I am quick to judge and get stuck in a certain opinion of people. My daughter is about the same age as theirs, and let's call her Maria, and she has a bit of trouble making friends. So when Sharon suggested they have weekly playdates alternating between their house and mine, I put my dislike of her aside and agreed. It all seemed to be going fine for a while, but my daughter eventually seemed less enthusiastic about going over to their place. I talked to her about it and she admitted she didn't like Sharon. Apparently Sharon had been watching them play and directing them on how to play, and she often interrupted to ask my daughter intrusive questions about our family, especially about my kids' fraternity. My daughter is a picky eater, so to start I would send her over with snacks I know she can eat in case there was nothing there she could eat. My daughter had told me she didn't eat those snacks because they had food that she could eat, but it turns out Sharon had told her she was being rude for bringing her own food to someone else's house. And if she wanted to eat, she had to eat what Sharon gave her. So of course she just didn't eat there. On top of that, Sharon would invite my daughter to Sunday school every time and had gotten very pushy even though she consistently said no. My daughter still wanted to play with Maria, so we decided the play dates could continue, but only if they were at our place. I made my excuses to Sharon and initially she agreed to only have play dates at my house. But when Sharon and Maria showed up, they both came inside instead of Sharon leaving Maria at the door as usual. In front of her daughter, my daughter, and my son, Sharon said that they've been praying about it as a family and God had guided them and told them not to leave their daughter with an unmarried mother because apparently it shows I cannot make good choices. And they're worried I would influence her to make poor decisions with her life and stray from her faith. And then they left. So I was right about Sharon being nosy and judgmental. I decided to find out if I was right about Mike. I made accounts on Instagram and Facebook posing as an attractive young lady with lots of somewhat local friends. I followed him on Instagram. He followed back. He immediately messaged me and the messages quickly went from vaguely flirty to obviously trying to get some. I then took screenshots of the messages and sent them to Sharon in Facebook message. I didn't get a response. But I did see Mike storming out of the house with a small suitcase and driving off rather recklessly. He did come back a couple of days later, so I haven't destroyed the marriage or anything, but I definitely put a dent in it. And that's what you get for judging people. When your husband is a sleazy, sleazy cheater, and you judging her for being an unmarried mother. The audacity. So I'm at the dollar store today. I don't know where you all live, but around here the few stores are notoriously understaffed. It isn't rare to have lines 10 people deep with the cashier struggling to move as fast as they can. I'm pretty patient as I work in a similar field and always give myself extra time to go shop there. So the line is backed up halfway down the snack aisle. I'm number 3 in line to check out. A lady, 6th in line, with her 5-year-old kid gets frustrated and starts getting aggressively loud. Not quite yelling, but loud enough most of the store can hear. Aggressive lady. You need to open a second register. You move too slow. This store always does this. Open a second register. The poor cashier keeps her head down and tries to move it faster, but it's not helping. Aggressive lady. You all need to say something. Speak up. They always do this. Open a second register. People in the line are uncomfortable and shifting around, but no one says anything to her while she complains openly with her kid in tow. Under his breath, the guy behind me says, "What do you want her to do? Shut down the register and move to the other one?" Which draws some snickers from the crowd. Aggressive lady. This is BS. You're BS. Don't talk to me with my kid. This dollar store sucks. Go to a different one. She drags her kid up to the next door, closed register line, and slams her hand on the conveyor belt and goes, "Open this register, open this register." During this, the manager has come out from the back and watched the commotion. He walks over to the register she's at and flips on the light. Manager. I can help the next customer. Aggressive lady dumps all her stuff on the belt. Manager. Ma'am, I said I can help the next customer. Sir? And he gestures for me to come over as the person in front of me was now being helped by cashier 1. Aggressive lady. I'm right here. I'm first. Manager. No, ma'am. He was before you. You cut the line. Sir? I can help you right here. Ma'am, can you please remove your things from the belt? Aggressive lady. Shocked Pikachu face. Kid starts to cry. She aggressively smashes all her things back into her basket and goes back to the former 6th place in line, now 5th or whatever. Manager. Ma'am, I've already told you no one is allowed to cut in line. You'll need to go to the back. This dollar store may suck, but it's my dollar store. She slams her basket on the floor and drags her crying kid out of the store. His petty revenge, not mine, but man was it fun to witness. That's what she get. Why you... Clearly, there's nobody to run the second register or it will be open. Why do people have to act like this? Like, Jesus, calm down. It really don't be that deep. What are you in a rush for? Why are you so in a rush that you gonna harass this poor, innocent girl just trying to do her job? Next story. Petty with a side of bacon. My wonderful husband does a lot of the dishes, which is wonderful. Except if they come out of the dishwasher dirty. They still end up in the cupboard sometimes. Ew. Well, after a pretty rough day, I decided to make a tasty sandwich with bacon. Whenever anyone makes bacon, your house fills with this tantalizing smell, so I always add a slice or two for the hubby. I want some bacon. Well, I went to get the pan and fry up bacon for said tasty sandwich. The pan was practically the wrong color, it was so dirty. Absolute petty mode engages. I get a little rush as I hand wash the pan. I do what I always do and add a few slices for him. Sizzle, sizzle. He even peeks his head into the kitchen as the smell makes it to his office. Sizzle, sizzle. Guess who got a side of bacon with her bacon sandwich? That's funny. Why are you putting dirty dishes in the cabinet, dude? That's gross. Next story. That's what he gets for cheating. So I, 16 female, love playing with my Rubik's Cubes. I also despise cheating when it comes to games and such. One of the biggest things I hate is when someone breaks a piece off of a Rubik's Cube to solve it. That's just cheating and very annoying to someone who actually wants to solve it. The piece will never go back into the spot until it's removed. Anyways, my brother, 14, came home from school and offered me a Rubik's Cube, saying his friend gave it to him to give to me so he could really see if I could solve it. No big deal. I love doing this stuff. But right as he was walking away, my mom, 47, says, "Shouldn't you tell her why he wants her to try to solve it?" Instant red flag. My brother starts smiling. "Just solve it." I reply with, "No, what's wrong with it?" He laughs a little and says, "You'll never be able to solve it. It's unsolvable." I start messing with the pieces and notice they aren't shifting right, almost like it's getting stuck. It reminded me of what happened to my 4x4 right before it broke. The pieces on the inside would get caught on each other, so I looked back at my brother and said, "He switched the pieces, didn't he?" Again, he starts laughing. My mom replies, "I told him not to do it. I knew you'd be angry." I said, "I'm not angry, just disappointed." With a smile on my face before I started turning it really hard. While messing with it, it had locked up and would no longer turn. So by forcing it to turn, the obvious happened. It shattered. My brother's face dropped while I stood there smiling. My mom was trying not to laugh in the background. "Brother, I can't return it like that." I thought about it, then looked at the hot glue gun on the counter. "Okay, I'll fix it then." I glue each piece together, and the only way to get it to come apart is to break it. My brother goes back to school on Thursday, and I can't wait for his reaction. P.S. I'm giving the boy $10 for breaking it. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me down in the comments which one of these petty revenge stories was your favorite. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!